What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Well, in my last video, I pondered the potential failure that is the Big Buck Hunter cabinet. And using some of the same criteria, the fact that it was never really hard to find, it's going on sale, and people still aren't buying it up, I have to ask myself, could you also consider the Xmen versus Street Fighter cab a failure? Okay. I know. Just bear with me for a second because I think we got a little bit of a different situation here than the Big Buck Hunter. In this one, you didn't have a bunch of ROMs that nobody wanted. You had ROMs that people wanted, but you also had another arcade cabinet that came out at the same time that had more games on it, that had most of these games on it, and it came with more stuff. You had the light-up deck protector. You had the stool. It was more expensive at $499. So you had $500. This one was also priced, I think, at $499 originally, but it's been sitting on sale for $349 for a very long time at Walmart. Now, if you're considering the Marvel vs. Capcom, which is the other cabinet that came out, it was available everywhere. You could pick that up at Best Buy, and then it eventually actually made its way from Best Buy, from exclusive to GameStop. You can pick it up other places. I think it's actually at Target now also. If you could scrape up $500, you were definitely going to go with this one. With the price drop, though, $150 difference, that may have come too late, because I've been saying this for a while. That cab is a steal at $350, and yet it's still on sale for $350. It's still on Walmart. It has not sold out. Where other cabs have sort of come and gone, as soon as they get the smallest of price drops, they're gone. So was this cabinet a failure? I think it looks great, but honestly, if you're at this price point, if you want to spend a little bit extra to get the entire Versus collection, which is basically what you're getting with the MVC cab, you don't get it with this one. You don't get the Marvel Superheroes versus Street Fighter on the other one. So you're kind of missing out on that game. But it's an odd strategy to take, I think. On one hand, you have two cabs that are very similar. You have obviously different side art. You've got one that's a little bit cheaper, so it's a more affordable option for those that want the Marvel vs. Capcom game. But at the same time, you have a Marvel vs. Capcom themed cabinet you're selling right next to it. They both have Wi-Fi. That's another thing. You're not really, that's the other thing that you would think would make this cab attractive. But I think once you're at that price point, you're going to want to go for the Marvel vs. Capcom cab. And it's also available in more places than this cab is, which is also puzzling, because you've got what is essentially a cheaper option, but it's only available right now, widely available at Walmart, and that's it. So was it a mistake? Was it an issue doubling down on these ROMs, which are great games? Don't get me wrong. I'm a huge fan of them. I have both cabinets. But when it was announced that these were coming out, roughly the same price, I saved the extra, and I wanted to reserve the Marvel vs. Capcom cab, and that's what I did. I waited for that one. I got the stool and the deck protector, and I got all the games, and that's what I wanted. And then my thought process was, I'll get this one, and if I have enough money, if I want to, if I've got the room, I'll get the Xmen vs. Street Fighter cab. And now I own both, and I actually have two of the Xmen Street Fighter cabs. One's being converted now into an Alien vs. Predator cab. But, I am a little concerned with some of their strategy, where we didn't have some of the legacy cabs that some people wanted. You didn't have, pinball machines. I know it's sort of a different form factor, but still, you had the demand didn't really seem to be for this cabinet, which I thought that it would be. So, was it a failure? Was this cabinet a failure? I think without the Marvel vs. Capcom cab, this cab would have succeeded. But in this reality that we live in, with the existence of the Marvel vs. Capcom cab, was it a mistake to even offer the Xmen vs. Street Fighter cab at all? Was it a failure? Because it's sitting at $350 right now, and I don't think many people are buying it. So anyway, those are my thoughts on what I think is a great deal if you're trying to get into the arcade one-up hobby. But I got to tell you, whoever said there's no such thing as too much of a good thing may be wrong in this case. I'll see you next time.